Hello everyone, and welcome to episode... Gosh dang it, my hat! Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of the Ramjet Anvil Show. I'm your host, Albert Nelson Jr., the developer of the Ellipses RPG tabletop role-playing system, among other things. And today I'm very happy to, as always, be joined by my colleagues at Ramjet Anvil, the lead developers of Volo Airsport, Martin.
Hey, that's me. Hi.
And Frank.
Hello.
And today is pretty dang special because we have a huge announcement! 3.7, by the time you watch this, will finally be in your computers if you have bought Volo Airsport on Steam or itch.io.
Yeah.
And it's available both places, and the 3.7 update is out. So, Frank, quick recap. We've been doing Ramjet Anvil Show for a few months now, and it's all come to a head. 3.7 is finally out. What is in it? Why should people care? What is Volo Airsport?
Right. So, for people who are new and don't know what Volo Airsport is, I guess you can see it from the video footage we're showing, but it's a game that shows you the fantasy of flight, what the fantasy of flight is like, with a rich aerodynamics and physics simulation model. And with this new update, we added parachutes and seamless transition from wingsuit to parachute and back again. Yeah.
There it is.
Like
Parachutes, baby.
Nice. And can you go back again?
Yeah, we just dropped
Let's
the parachute.
see. Can I survive it, though? Yes, I can.
Oh, nice.
Well, a little
Sweet.
swirl.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have seamless transition from parachute to wingsuit and back again, and also customizable parachutes, right?
That's right. Parachutes are completely customizable.
And the interface for doing them, for customizing them, has improved drastically since the original parachute
They were parachutes,
Prototype.
but now they're parachutes.
The original prototype, it was a really cool implementation, but it had its issues. Now the interface for customizing your parachute is so much more easy to understand, so much easier to use,
Yeah.
and you can build something that looks good and either works really well or works terribly based on logic really quickly.
Exactly. So these influence, all these changes influence the aerodynamics of the thing. So if you make yourself heavier, you will fall faster. Stuff
Okay,
like that.
give me the sweet parachute.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
What's it called?
The sweet parachute.
The sweet parachute. Yeah, tap.
Yeah.
Real internet speak. Oh, hey. This looks like it'll fly.
Oh, that actually works.
Yeah. Oh, and it's really spinny. Look at it.
Alright.
Speaking of spinny, not only does the parachute system allow you to pull off a lot of really cool tricks, but the fact that the 3.7 update is finally out, released, good, finished, means that there's some cool things for longtime players or new players to discover in the Volo simulation. So,
Yeah.
what are a couple of the really big highlights that people can try to discover in 3.7?
I'm gonna switch back to a parachute that I can fly.
Yeah.
Go back to my favorite.
Is the pillow? I think the blanket is the.
Oh yeah, blanket is the
That's
default.
that's the default.
We can
It's
swap
been
default for a little bit.
tweaked and tested and everything.
Okay, so let's look at this first. We got tons more spawn points, and this way you can make use of the terrain more easily. And what's especially fun, and we're gonna go there to show off a couple of cool things, is this area. Oh, it's really dark here.
That's right.
Hang on a sec. Yeah, we're gonna make it day.
I didn't even realize that we could change the time and the weather on the fly until recently.
Well, now you know.
Okay, here we are. This area is magical. I call it the secret, or well, not so secret, Garden of Lift. And this area, it has a little bit of an updraft to it. So instead of falling down and then inevitably reaching the ground, you can just keep doing this. Which is great. So then you can make your way down, and then you can do this swoopy thing.
Whoa!
And then you can do pirouettes and barrel rolls and try flips and whatever else you can come up with. This is like your testing and training, and I'm going to have fun forever area. It used to be the most well-kept secret in the Volo Airsport community, but now everyone can just make use of it.
What's really cool about the spawn points being added means that not only if you find something really interesting, doesn't mean you you probably won't have to fly down for 10 minutes to discover it and try out things in it over and over again.
Right. Exactly.
But another really cool thing about the whole spawn point system is that
it's okay. We're in the secret garden of lift.
Yeah. But you have just broken your legs and your arm.
Correction, I have bruised my legs. There's a difference.
Yeah. Bruises are okay.
I really like that, the convenience of spawn points, but it also means that, again, since it's a central point everybody can use, if you challenge your friend saying, hey, there's this one place on the map, I bet you can't either get there or do this thing there, you now have a quick reference point, and everybody has it, where you can issue challenges and do all sorts of cool things that'll tie into a challenge that we'll be introducing near the end of this video.
Yes.
However, before we get to that, a quick question. In the bottom left corner of the screen, I'm seeing a shift. Whenever you use the parachute, it says front lines, brake lines, rear lines. What do all of those words mean, and how does it tie into the really granular control players have with the Volo parachute as opposed to parachutes usually found in games? Because usually parachutes in games, they just stop you from falling and dying, and you sort of just shift them with the left stick like they're a giant mattress above your head.
Yeah, you just point them where they need to go, and they go there.
Well, this parachute can save you from imminent death as well, but you have to be skilled in order to not die.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the lines is, in this case, in this game, the lines are actually simulated. So the character is actually pulling on those lines in order to get anything done, and then just the shift in weight or amount of pull on those lines is what makes the whole thing move. So that's what you need to learn, and by default you pull on the rearmost lines, and they fold the back part of the wing down a little bit, and it makes the wing on that side want to go up. So if I
so that's what those two little lines next to brake lines. It shows how hard you're pulling,
yes,
either the left or right side.
And now by default you can see it's the brake lines. And I pull on the left side, and you can see, whoa, now I'm just pulling a little bit, so it's a small bar, and now I pull all the way, and it's completely full. And I can do that on the right side as well, and I can pull both at the same time.
And you use the triggers to do that, right?
Yes, I use these sweet input devices, which have been sorely underused in many video games, because they're great. They're pressure sensitive, so you can press them down a tiny little bit, or you can press them down a lot.
And that's how Volo Airsport uses them.
Yes.
It's analog control, so how hard you pull it determines how much your character is essentially wrenching on those lines.
Yes.
Good thing to know, though, is that if you don't have a controller, there's mouse support as well. So you can use the mouse to pull the lines.
Yeah, technically I would still say gamepad recommended, but the mouse is actually pretty great.
Yeah, we spent a good deal of time on getting the mouse controls right, so definitely worth checking out.
But more line talk, because you can also pull on other line sets. By default on the controller, they are mapped to the A button and the X button, and you can grab with that the rear lines and the front lines. Front lines are interesting. If you pull on those, let me just pull on the left and right set at the same time. You pull the front of the wing down, and that makes it want to go up less, and you start pulling yourself down. Now, of course, I've got so much lift here that I'm not tumbling down to the ground, but you can see if I let go of them, I go up immediately. And then if I pull down on them again, I just generate less lift. Actually, what's great for this, so we can show off how physics everything is, just turn on the aerodynamics so you can see. If I pull on the front lines, you can see the lift vectors. Just how hard is the lift pulling on the wing? You can see those drop, and then when I let go of those, they get a lot bigger.
Wow.
So the longer the line is, the more lift is generated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you pull on the one side, of course, you can see now that there's very little lift being generated on one side and a lot on the other. And so I start rolling the one way. With the brakes, you can see there's a lot of drag on the side that I pull on. And so actually this visualization helps you make sense of what is happening with the thing. It can be a kind of good learning tool.
So combining new spawn points like the Secret Garden of Lift and the other cool little spawn points you've hidden around the world, using the granular control afforded you not only in the parachute, but in the really rock-solid wingsuit simulation y'all have continued to improve in this update. And new, again, just seamless wingsuit parachute functionality. Essentially, players have way more options to really dabble in this flight playground than ever before.
Yeah. There's actually one more control I want to cover. It's a subtle one. It's less important than the triggers, and you noticed I respawned in order to be able to show it off. So you have this on this stick. If you notice, if you move it, the character starts doing a funky dance. What you can do with this is generally just shift your weight around a little bit, and it gives you even more extra control over it. And you can do counter motions where you pull towards the right, but then you steer towards the left, and it gives you even more options for doing strange little bits of flight. You can smooth out your motion with it. You can make your flight more messy with it as well. It's just a nice thing to play with. Plus, you can look really cool because you can swing your legs forward in a way that just looks like you're anticipating the motion of things, and this is what makes for really cool videos.
So it's a style thing as well.
Speaking of really cool videos, we want to see yours. As I said earlier, the 3.7 update is available now on Steam and itch.io, and we want to see what you can do with all of these really cool tools. So, for the next 2 weeks until April, let me check, just to make sure, 28th, 2017, we want to see your videos. If you do a video of your flight, of your tricks in Volo Airsport, and somewhere in the name of the video you put Volo 3.7 flight contest, and send in the link to said video to info@voloairsport.com. We will review your submissions, we'll look at all of your awesome content, and we will actually not only take the best ones and highlight them on the Volo or the Ramjet Anvil show for that week, but the winners of the contest, those who are featured in that special edition of the Ramjet Anvil show, will receive an extra Steam key or itch.io key, whatever the winner prefers, of Volo Airsport, so they can give it to their friends, their enemies, maybe their grandmother on Mother's Day. Who knows? You can give it to anyone. The choice is yours, but nonetheless, we really want to see what you do with these tools, and we're so excited to see what you can produce and manage to achieve using all of these amazing tools in Volo Airsport, particularly as we continue to expand the sandbox in coming updates in early access for as long as we can until it's finished.
So you get extra kudos, I would say, if you build your own parachute. If you make your own parachute and do awesome stuff with that.
Oh yeah, that is definitely kudo points. Build your own, amaze us.
And you can use one of the defaults and change that. There's a section in the editor where you can just copy an existing parachute and edit it. So yeah.
Wow.
Alright.
That's episode 16 of the Ramjet Anvil Show. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please like, comment, subscribe. We have other videos and links that should be appearing right now. If you liked this sort of behind-the-scenes picture that we've shown today, you can check out those. And as I said earlier, Volo Airsport, currently available on Steam and itch.io in early access. We just released a huge update, so definitely check that out. And if you like what you are playing or see and you want to support us, please leave a Steam review. That stuff is super important. Send in your videos, and good luck, pilots. Until next time,
See ya.
take care.